Are you doing everything right? Eating well, moving more, maybe even taking GLP-1 meds after surgery and still feel exhausted or stuck on the scale? Here's a truth bomb. If your sleep is off, your immune system weakens, your hunger hormones can be affected, and your weight loss can stall. Before you roll your eyes and think, I know, I should go to bed earlier, I want you to hang tight. Because what you're probably not being told is just how critical sleep is for your immune system, your weight regulation, even your hormones, especially if you've had bariatric surgery or you're taking weight loss medications like GLP-1s. Well, stay right here with me. I'm cutting through the fluff and I'm talking about the connection between sleep, immunity, and weight. And I'm sharing sleep strategies to help you get some Z's.
Say goodbye to chalky calcium chews. ProCare Health makes chews that are creamy, not gritty, and packed with food-based TrueCal for superior absorption. Now available in peaches and cream. And yes, it tastes as good as it sounds. Save 10% with code BSS10 at ProCareNow.com.
I'm bariatric dietitian Dr. Susan Mitchell. You're listening to the Bariatric Surgery Success podcast. I'm so glad you're here today. It matters where you get your nutrition information. Here's what you need to know now. Ever noticed that when you don't sleep well, you're more hungry than usual? Can getting the sleep that your body craves keep you from feeling hungry? Yes, it can help. Could a good night's sleep even affect your weight or that dreaded weight regain after surgery? Yes, it can. Sleep deprivation means that you're not getting enough sleep and enough good quality sleep. Most adults need 7 to 8 hours a night. And when you sleep less than this over time, the body produces more of the hunger hormone called ghrelin. Have you heard of that? So it's not unusual that you crave more food, especially, guess what? Carbs and sugar. Can you see that tie here to sleep and cravings? Too little sleep also kicks up your stress level by increasing the stress hormone cortisol, which then increases your appetite. Think about it like this. What if you're trying to get more sleep, yet you have a lot of stress in your life? Does the stress affect your sleep? Sure it does. So here's the question. Is it stress that makes you have trouble sleeping, eat more, and regain weight? Or is it too little sleep that makes you more stressed, hungry, eat more, and gain? Well, both. Bottom line, come in close because I don't want you to miss this. The less sleep you get, the more it fuels hunger and ultimately weight regain. But good news, love the good news, right? When you increase the amount of sleep you get, an average 7 to 8 hours per night, hunger hormones and hunger itself, caused from sleep deprivation, seem to return to normal. So let's get more sleep and let's get that scale unstuck. To dig a little deeper, sleep improves what's called food restraint. Have you ever heard of that food restraint? This means that when you're rested, you tend to have more control over what you choose to eat and when you choose to eat it. This is the opposite of what's happening when you're stressed and you're tired and eating the door off the refrigerator looks like a pretty good option. You know what I mean? But the decisions you make about what to eat when you're sleep deprived are not your best ones. So to help you get sleep, you may find that you want to unplug for 30 minutes to an hour before bed. Sleep research shows that the bright lights from your favorite devices, I'm talking your cell phones, TV, computers, tablets, they decrease the body's production of melatonin. You've probably heard of it because this is a hormone or a supplement that's promoted quite often. But melatonin is a hormone whose job it is to make you feel tired and ready to fall asleep. So I've set a daily notification that pops up on my phone at night to tell me, hey, time to wind down, because you know how easy it is to get caught up in doing this and that, or watching some show, or I don't know, whatever it is, right? It really does help me stay on track better with my sleep. And then ultimately I get more and better sleep. And by the way, I always want to toss in some nutrition along the way. So be sure and include bananas, fish like salmon, sardines, or tuna, oats, and chickpeas in your menu plans. Why? You're probably thinking, why? Because these foods contain vitamin B6, which helps the body produce melatonin, that sleep-inducing hormone. And add a few tart cherries to your salad or a protein smoothie. They can be fresh, frozen, doesn't matter. Not only are they tasty, but they contain melatonin. Well, in just a moment, we'll talk about your immune system. This past weekend, we had friends over, and I did a sheet pan dinner of shrimp and scallops, along with colorful bell peppers from the farmer's market and onions that I roasted all on one sheet pan. Then we wrapped all those goodies in whole wheat tortillas with sliced avocado. It was so yummy and really fast and easy to do. So what are you having for dinner tonight? Do you need some quick ideas? You can try some easy sheet pan dinners if you want. I'll put the link for this freebie in the show notes, or you can go right to breakingdownnutrition.com/sheetpandinners. Now, what about your immunity and getting sick? Well, there are two main phases of sleep: non-REM, which stands for rapid eye movement, and REM. Well, deep sleep is one stage of non-REM sleep. It's crucial for the physical restoration of the body. So I want you to hear this. Deep sleep helps protect immune system function. There's a reason you're more likely to get sick when you're sleep deprived. During deep sleep, your body does its maintenance, including processes that affect immune function. Various immune-related proteins and cells are active, and they help the body maintain its defense. So recovery and repair, like bone and muscle building or tissue repair, happen during deep sleep. Without enough quality sleep, immunity is impaired, which in turn makes it hard for your body to defend itself against pathogens. So regular maintenance during deep sleep keeps your immune system from being compromised, which then reduces your chances of getting sick. So how do you get this deep sleep? Following a consistent bedtime and wake up time is a great way to promote deeper sleep. And yes, don't miss this. Even on weekends, whenever you can. I know this sounds really regimented, but I can tell you, it works. Sleep specialists think this schedule, especially the wake-up time, can really help sleep issues. I started doing this after COVID significantly fractured my sleep. This routine helps regulate your circadian rhythm, the body clock that oversees your sleep-wake cycle. So think of it like this. When your brain knows when to expect sleep, it can transition into deep sleep more efficiently. But what about when you travel, or you have a late night, or you're just stressed and don't sleep well? We all have those, right? You can get back on track. Don't give up. Get back on your usual sleep schedule right away so you can recalibrate your circadian rhythm. Another way to get deep sleep is to think about your sleep space. Is it conducive to good sleep? What can you do to make it dark, to make it cool, and to make it quiet? That's the perfect trifecta for deep sleep: dark, cool, and quiet. How about your mattress and your pillows? Have they seen better days, or do they provide you with comfort and support that you need? It's something to think about. Okay, we're not going to talk about whether Fido and Fluffy are in the bed too. What about caffeine? Remember, everyone processes caffeine differently. So typically, if you're allowing 6 to 8 hours between caffeine and bedtime, you're probably okay. But pay attention to how you feel. You may need more time between caffeine and sleep, or you might do just fine with 6 hours. So here's what I want you to do this week. So if you're multitasking, come back to me and listen closely. Make the decision that you're going to get more sleep and better sleep. Come in close and say this with me. Ready? I'm making the decision right here, right now, to get more sleep. If this means seeing a sleep specialist, do it. It's all about lifestyle. And if it is a lot about lifestyle right now, then set a daily reminder. Start a get ready for bed routine. Go to bed at the same time each night and get up at the same time each day. Especially get up at the same time each day, even when you're dragging booty, okay? Your brain and your body will love you. Listen to relaxing music or meditations or sounds that de-stress you, like ocean waves or rain. I've started listening to audiobooks at night to take my mind off of everything else, and it does help me fall asleep. So remember, you are worth it.
Bariatric Surgery Success with dietitian Dr. Susan Mitchell is produced and owned by Practicalories, LLC. All rights reserved. Remember, the content provided on this podcast is for information purposes only and doesn't create a patient-provider relationship. It's intended to provide reference material and is not designed to provide medical advice. Please consult your healthcare provider regarding any medical issues you have relating to symptoms, conditions, diseases, diagnosis, treatments, and side effects. Podcast guests express their own opinions, experience, and conclusions which do not necessarily reflect or agree with the host, Dr. Susan Mitchell or Practicalories, LLC.